Okay, this is Twilight by Kupla. People ever say, like, have you ever seen Kublai Khan? I'm like, wasn't that like the first ever emperor of the Yuan dynasty? And he's like, yeah, I think it was, bro. I think that was the grandson of Timur, of Genghis Khan. He's like, I think it was, bro. And he's like, oh, that was Kublai Khan. Does everybody remember Samuel Taylor Coleridge, or like Coleridge, like not Colorado, like Boulder, man, but he was smoking some stuff. His name was Samuel Taylor Coleridge, I believe, bro. We got to get the podcast guy to look at that up. And is it Katie Dotson? Hey, how you doing? All right. So really quickly, let me tell you, Sailor Taylor Coleridge, he went there, he wrote a poem, and I think it was called Kublai Khan. If it wasn't called Kublai Khan, then it was something of the sort. But he was on a trip in Yuan Dynasty, Beijing, though. It was probably named something else. And this is the first time that any Mongol had ever lived in a palace, nonetheless not a hut. It was Genghis Khan's grandson, and he founded the Yuan Dynasty, and it became Chinese. What a dynasty. And he's like, but wait, if it was Mongolian before, then how did it turn Chinese when you put the Chinese there, bro? I'm like, dude, there's 1.3 billion now. How many were there back then? Probably not that many, but it's still a really lot, man. Anything that goes into a society, an ethno-state, something that big just gets gobbled up and spit out and chewed back. And he says, oh my God, well, what about ideas, man? I say, they do some crazy stuff, but they started from there, man. He says, what do you mean? I'm like, that's like recycling. All these ideas, they went out, they came right back in, and then they came out, and it's like an echo chamber, man. We just scream into it, it screams right back, and we look and we say, hey, that's great. What about the Tao Te Ching? What about all these things? How many times have people written stuff down, but they've thought it, man? You got to sit down and feel this behind your eyelids. You got to close your eyes and chill and just sit there and do nothing at all. Seriously.